In some ways, it looks like the same old story. North Korea conducts a provocation, such as this missile launch earlier this month. In response, the U.S. and South Korea hold big displays of military strength, such as these drills on a U.S. aircraft carrier.
Here in Seoul, some version of that has happened for 7 decades, which is how long the U.S. and South Korea have been allies. But as Washington and Seoul celebrate their alliance at the White House this week, several issues of trust have emerged.
Perhaps the biggest is whether South Koreans can trust the U.S. to defend their country. With North Korea now able to threaten the U.S. mainland, many question if Washington would intervene in a conflict. The question is so urgent that President Yoon has even suggested South Korea could develop its own nuclear weapons if its security concerns are not addressed. To reassure South Koreans, Washington has sent its most powerful military assets for highly visible drills. But Seoul wants more, says analyst Jenny Town.
Is it enough? Is it ever really enough? And I'm sure, as North Korea continues to focus on especially ICBM development, I think these demands will continue to grow, even if there is an appreciation for how much more the U.S. has been putting into this.
Another source of tension is South Korea's reluctance to arm Ukraine. Although South Korea has become a major weapons exporter, it says it cannot arm Ukraine directly because of domestic laws. Instead, South Korea has helped indirectly by approving the sale of weapons like these tanks to countries such as Poland that are arming Ukraine. U.S. South Korea tensions over Ukraine were exposed by the recent leak of U.S. documents, which suggested Washington spied on senior South Korean officials. Seoul has downplayed the incident, but many Koreans remain upset, says scholar Park Won-gon.
Because South Korea and the United States, we are allies, and then the leaking information is nothing new. Everybody knows. If the United States really interested in this issue, just give a phone call to our officials, and then South Korean people can be happy to answer all those processes.
For Yoon, perhaps the biggest challenge is a low approval rating at home. Analysts say that may give him limited foreign policy flexibility as he attempts to align his country more closely with the West. But in Washington, Yoon hopes to encounter a friendlier audience as he celebrates 7 decades of an alliance that is broadly popular in both countries. Gallo, VOA News, Seoul, South Korea.